In just 48 hours, the world was reminded of one undeniable truth. When the United States decides to act, the planet holds its breath. Before dawn on January 3rd, 2026, the skies above Caracas came alive with the sound of precision. American stealth drones pierced through the darkness, guided by satellite intelligence and years of silent preparation. By sunrise, Nicolás Maduro, a man long accused of corruption, narco-terrorism, and political brutality, was no longer the president of Venezuela. He was a prisoner of the United States. And once again, the world watched American power unfold in real time. This was no random strike. It was the culmination of decades of doctrine, billions in technology, and a mindset forged by history. The belief that when America is challenged, it responds with precision and conviction. The operation, codenamed Absolute Resolve, would be remembered as one of the most daring missions in modern times. A message to every rival power that American capability never sleeps. For years, tensions between Washington and Caracas had been building. What began as political friction under Hugo Chavez turned into outright hostility under Maduro. Accusations of rigged elections, human rights violations, and links to narco-trafficking had already isolated Venezuela from much of the world. But the real spark came in late 2025, when U.S. intelligence intercepted communications showing Venezuelan officials supplying arms to rogue groups in the Middle East. For Washington, that was a red line. Within weeks, the order was given, a limited but decisive operation to remove a dictator who had turned his country into a cartel state. At 2:14 a.m., the first wave of American cyber units crippled Venezuela's air defenses from thousands of miles away. Moments later, destroyers in the Caribbean launched stealth drones that glided silently toward Caracas, confirming strike coordinates with surgical accuracy. Marines from the 24th Expeditionary Unit stood ready offshore, prepared to move if the situation escalated. Every movement was calculated, every second pre-planned. 12 years of intelligence condensed into 48 hours of flawless execution. When the news broke, Maduro captured, the world froze. For some, it was shock. For others, vindication. Washington had learned from Iraq and Afghanistan. This was not about invasion, but demonstration, precision, power, deterrence. In less than 2 days, the United States had reminded the planet of what true reach looks like. Even among allies, reactions were divided. Some praised the boldness, others feared the precedent. But for millions of Americans, it was a moment of pride, a return of confidence, a reminder that their nation still possessed the will and capability to act when others only watched. Inside the Pentagon, comparisons were immediate. Some called it the most efficient foreign extraction since the capture of Noriega in Panama. Others saw echoes of Abbottabad, the operation that ended Osama bin Laden. But Operation Absolute Resolve stood apart in one critical way. Not a single American life was lost. Every objective was met, and within hours, Maduro was in U.S. custody, en route to Guantanamo Bay, before being flown to New York to face trial. Behind the scenes, the technology was decades ahead of public knowledge. Quantum encrypted communication, AI-coordinated drone swarms, real-time satellite mapping capable of tracking heat signatures from vehicles. This was not just military strength. It was the fusion of innovation and intelligence, a demonstration that the United States remains not only the most powerful, but the most advanced nation on Earth. As the world reacted, lines were drawn. China condemned the operation as imperial aggression. Russia demanded an emergency UN session. Across Latin America, leaders spoke cautiously, torn between outrage and awe. And yet, behind closed doors, many admitted what they could not say publicly. No other country could have done it. In Washington, the president addressed the nation. He called the operation a necessary act to restore global stability and dismantle a criminal regime. His words echoed through history. The United States does not seek conflict, but we will never hesitate to defend our values, our allies, and our people. The message was clear. America was back on offense. For Venezuela, the aftermath was chaos and hope intertwined. Crowds flooded the streets, some cheering, others mourning. But for the first time in decades, the shadow of fear began to fade. Political prisoners were freed, international aid arrived, and whispers of rebuilding began to surface. The future remained uncertain, but one truth was clear. The era of Maduro was over. The mission lasted 48 hours, but its impact will echo for generations. Because history is written not by those who speak,